Dawn paints the eastern rim of the sky with gentle rose and molten gold, and the hush before full daylight feels as though creation itself is holding its breath. You can sense every flutter of leaf, every distant birdsong, every shy murmur of breeze across the grass, and these quiet signals invite you to pause. The world is expansive, yet at this moment you inhabit a sanctuary no wider than your heartbeat. In that sacred hush, distractions loosen their grip, and inner noise begins to fade like mist rising from a valley floor. Now, take a few seconds to let your spine lengthen as if drawn upward by the first ray of sunlight. Once your frame is aligned, notice how the slow rhythm of inhalation and exhalation steadies your thoughts. Each breath sweeps clean a small corridor of your awareness, making room for gratitude. Your eyelids may close or rest heavy, but behind them a luminous stillness gathers, kind that nourishes courage during every future hour. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 40:60-10. This short line urges pause rather than haste. It reminds you that acknowledging God's presence begins with quiet attention. In that recognition, daily anxieties shrink to proper size. Let your memories stream by like gentle current moments of laughter shared, meals that warmed you, kindness received in unexpected ways. You do not need to cling to any image. Simply witness the cascade of ordinary graces that have brought you to this sunrise. As you watch, something weightless settles within, an awareness that the sum of daily mercies is larger than yesterday's concerns. Distant call of a crow drifts over dewy fields, and that simple cry seems to widen inner space even more. You might picture your thoughts as clouds, some soft and wispy, others dense, all moving across an infinite sky that is never endangered by their passing. When a heavier cloud appears, a regret looming task, imagine it touched by dawn light that turns its edges silver. You are not dismissing responsibility. Rather, you are granting yourself the permission to begin from calm ground. Stay in this calm as long as you need. If an errand demands attention, acknowledge it with kindness. Then escort it to the edges of awareness, where it will wait until this sacred pause is complete. You are learning that tranquility is not escape. It is a foundation on which purposeful living rests. As streams feed great rivers silently beneath forest canopy, so interior quiet nourishes every outward endeavor. You can visualize yourself standing on the shore of a glassy lake. Each time a trivial worry tries to stir the water, you lay a smooth stone of thanks upon the surface, and ripples subside. By naming gifts, shelter, breath, friend's voice, you train sight toward abundance rather than scarcity. In turn, the lake of your soul grows clear, flecting sky more faithfully. When thoughts finally settle, awareness may widen to include even the gentle hum of your own bloodstream, the pulse behind your ears, the life threaded through every cell. You understand that such life is loaned, not earned. This realization does not diminish you. It crowns every mundane detail with dignity. Washing dishes, sending emails, caring for family. All become extensions of sacred stillness once you have tasted its peace-filled origin. If this morning reveals subtle aches or lingering sorrow, allow the hush to cradle them without judgment. Pain, too, wants to be witnessed, not shamed. You are free to place each hurt like a small stone in God's palm, knowing nothing entrusted is ever lost. Silence becomes a gentle physician, suturing the frayed places of the heart with threads of attentive grace. Before this section closes, absorb one more round of slow breathing. On the inhale, gather the cool scent of dawn grass. On the exhale, release any residue of hurry. Feel how quiet generates fertile ground, ready to receive fresh seed of hope. Around you the horizon brightens, yet inside you the radiant core outshines even the sun. When you open your eyes, you carry that inner morning wherever the day may lead. Light climbs higher, gilding treetops and rooftops alike, and the quiet you have cultivated becomes a bridge into trust. You stand upon that bridge as a traveler poised between known and unknown. Yesterday's pathways may have twisted unexpectedly. Tomorrow's remain unseen, yet beneath both spans an unchanging presence flows, wide as an ocean, deep as eternity. You recognize that your story rests upon a larger narrative whose author is wise beyond comprehension. You can recall times when you leaned on your own understanding and felt the ground shift beneath you. Perhaps resources dwindled or relationships frayed or plans collapsed like tents in a gust. Those memories do not condemn. They simply highlight how human perception is partial, like lantern light compared to dawn. Even so, they hold hidden grace. They teach that surrender to divine guidance is not defeat, but alignment with what already holds everything together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. These lines encourage dependence rather than self-reliance. They reassure you that guidance is not random. It is promised to hearts that keep turning toward heaven. Picture yourself setting down a satchel of doubts beside a forest trail. The straps have rubbed your shoulders raw. Relinquishing them feels like stepping into sunlight. After long shadow, you realize that trust is not passive resignation, but a deliberate act of placing your hand in God's and choosing to walk forward together. Questions remain, yet they lose their sting because they are no longer unanswered, alone. The morning breeze carries the scent of pine and distant rain, hinting that unseen currents shape even what seems chaotic. In the same way, trust acknowledges invisible orchestration. While you cannot map every turn ahead, you can anticipate provision at each bend. This anticipation does not ignore obstacles. It simply refuses to grant them ultimate authority. Instead, it declares that obstacles often serve as invitations to deeper intimacy with the one who accompanies you. You can think of trust as fertile soil receiving seed. Fear may whisper that relinquishing control risks barren ground. Faith quietly counters that only surrendered soil can welcome growth. Consider how a farmer releases grain into earth and waits for unseen germination. So you entrust aspirations, relationships, finances, and health into God's keeping, confident that unseen roots will develop at their appointed time. Mid-morning sunlight now dapples the path, and golden patches flicker across your steps. Likewise, moments arrive when trust is confirmed by subtle indicators. A timely word from a friend, closed door that reroutes you to richer opportunity, a surprising calm amid upheaval. Each sign becomes another stone in a growing mosaic that depicts divine fidelity. Over months and years, the mosaic brightens until even seasons of drought cannot erase its pattern. If memories surface of promises seemingly unfulfilled, hold them with gentleness. Trust does not deny sorrow or delay. Rather, it carries them like precious seeds kept safe for a later spring. Patience is woven into authentic faith because love's timing rarely aligns with hurry. When impatience aches, breathe in assurance that what is held by God is never abandoned. A hawk glides overhead, wings stretched wide on columns of rising warm air. Without frantic flapping, the bird ascends. That effortless motion models the art of yielded movement. Letting lifted currents of grace bear you farther than sheer will could thrust. Acknowledge that true progress often looks like restful cooperation rather than strained striving. As this section draws toward pause, commit one intention to trust's care. Name it silently, perhaps a decision, healing need, an uncertain conversation. Visualize yourself placing it like a small candle upon the river of divine wisdom, watching it float until it disappears around the bend. Believe that the current knows where to carry the light and that you will meet its glow again in perfect season. By late morning, the air grows warmer, and your heart, bathed in calm and fortified with trust, stands ready for the surge of vigor that renewal offers. This vigor is not mere adrenaline. It is a profound energy drawn from unending source. You discover that surrender has paradoxically prepared you for resilient action. Much like pruning reedies a vine for heavier clusters of fruit, you can feel renewal rising from soles to crown, an inner tide responding to celestial gravity. Muscles loosen, spine elongates, thoughts sharpen. It is as though the vast reservoir of God's vitality has opened a conduit to your everyday self. In such moments, ordinary tasks, writing reports, ferrying children, tending gardens, are no longer routines, but opportunities to channel living water into thirsty places. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 431. The verse paints endurance as gift rather than achievement. It promises that expectation rooted in God results in sustained momentum, whether soaring, running, or simply continuing. Imagine standing on a cliff edge where updrafts lift great birds with effortless grace. You too are invited to spread metaphorical wings, trusting unseen currents to bear you. Those currents may be encouragement received, clarity granted, or stamina that outlasts deadlines. Renewal does not always roar. Sometimes it hums quietly beneath surface fatigue until, at the precise moment, strength surges to match challenge. You might recall seasons when capacity seemed to vanish, the body unresponsive, the mind fogged, the spirit dim. Yet somehow, through simple acts, such as stepping outside for fresh air or reciting a promise aloud, renewal arrived. Memories of that arrival teach confidence for future trials. They confirm that exhaustion is not final. It is merely a turning point toward replenishment. Harnessing renewed power, you pursue tasks not in frantic haste, but with measured vigor. That energy conserved during stillness now serves purposeful action. Break goals into attainable strides, allowing steady rhythm to replace spurts of effort, followed by collapse. Marathon runners who pace themselves for the long haul. You understand that sustainable strength honors both body and mission. If the day presents unexpected detours, draw on the reservoir again rather than panic. Visualize the inner well as fed by groundwater that never diminishes. You lower the bucket of prayer, haul up assurance, and sip deeply. Each swallow cools anxiety, steadies pulse, centers perspective. You discover that renewal is renewable. Drawing today does not limit tomorrow's supply. Consider those around you who may walk under heavy loads: elderly neighbors, anxious colleagues, sleep-deprived caregivers. Revived strength equips you to become a conduit of encouragement. Simple gesture, a cup of tea, a listening ear, transfers surplus energy to weary hearts. In this exchange, strength multiplies, generosity enlarges capacity, just as rivers widen when tributaries merge. The sun now sits high, its brilliance intense, yet beneath its blaze you stand resilient. Shade from a broad leaf tree offers respite, reminding you that even robust vigor needs rhythms of rest. Renewal is cyclical, not constant high gear, micro pauses. A 3-minute sky gaze, a whispered thanks. So vitality remains fresh. Momentum sustained by gratitude resists burnout. Close this part by stretching arms skyward. Palms open to invisible breeze. Feel renewal cascade through fingertips like warm rain. Commit to stewarding this life force wisely, remembering that energy flows best through willing vessels, not clenched fists. When you step forward, carry the assurance that strength will rise again and again at every new horizon. Afternoon light mellows, softening edges of buildings and hills, and a gentle equilibrium settles over creation. You recognize that serenity is not simply an absence of conflict. It is a dynamic guidance system, a compass pointing toward wise choices. While circumstances may swirl like autumn leaves in a gust, inward calm remains a stable north. You have tasted quiet, anchored trust, and drunk renewal. Now you receive tranquil direction. The hum of daily activity continues around you. Distant traffic, clicking keyboards, children's laughter. But inside, the pond of your spirit remains clear. Decisions that once provoked fretfulness can be evaluated through the lens of peace. You can ask, does this option deepen inner harmony or fracture it? Such discernment is a gift, protecting you from paths that promise excitement yet yield turmoil. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. This statement presents peace not only as feeling, but as protective sentinel. It suggests that tranquil confidence is capable of defending thought and emotion against chaos. Imagine standing at a crossroads, each route framed by arching trees. One path carries a subtle fragrance of blossoms, other feels stale. Your senses advise which trail fosters well-being. Likewise, spiritual compass, bearings may emerge through a gentle check in the gut, a whisper in prayer, confirming word from Scripture or friend. Attentiveness to these subtleties nurtures wise navigation. Tension rises, perhaps a terse email or financial strain. Pause. Envision a calm river flowing through chest and abdomen, washing debris of anxiety toward an ocean of divine care. You are not ignoring problems. You are choosing to respond from centeredness rather than reactivity. Solutions birthed in calm often prove clearer, kinder, and more creative. You can cultivate a climate of peace in spaces you inhabit. Play soft instrumental music, arrange fresh greenery, speak with measured voice. These small actions ripple outward, inviting coworkers, family, or classmates to breathe easier. Peace shared does not diminish. It multiplies like candle flames lighting additional wicks. Without shortening original wicks, burn time. Should a looming deadline compress your chest, remember earlier lessons. Stillness yields presence. Trust offers perspective. Renewal supplies energy. Bring those elements together by inhaling slowly to a count of 4, holding briefly, exhaling to 6. This rhythmic breath signals nervous system to downshift, allowing compass clarity to return. From that vantage, next steps emerge logically. Some decisions remain ambiguous despite prayerful thought. In such cases, maintain peace by choosing faithful action rather than perfect certainty. God often steers moving vessels more easily than anchored ones. If later you discern a course correction, peace will again mark the pivot point. Flexibility anchored in calm allows you to adapt without losing equilibrium. Late afternoon shadows lengthen, reminding you that day's end approaches. Even as external light diminishes, tranquility glows. Perhaps schedule an evening stroll, letting the setting sun tint your thoughts with pastel gentleness. During that walk, rehearse moments today when peace directed you. An avoided argument, a gracious reply, a pause that prevented error. Each recollection reinforces confidence in serenity's compass for tomorrow. Horizon begins its slow descent into amber, And as twilight prepares to paint the heavens, companionship becomes focus. You have learned to be still, to trust, to renew, and to move guided by calm. Now you savor the daily pilgrimage with the divine companion whose footsteps echo alongside your own. This companionship is not theoretical. It is felt in subtle joys and hidden mercies that pepper the landscape of ordinary hours. He has shown you, O mortal, is good. And what does the Lord require of you? Act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Micah 6:7-8. The verse distills purposeful living into 3 relational gestures: justice, kindness, humility. Walking with God weaves these values into every stride. Picture yourself on a forest trail at dusk, fireflies beginning their silent lantern dance. Each luminous flicker is akin to an instance of grace that punctuates human routine. A door held open, an apology offered, an unexpected laugh shared. Walking with God sensitizes sight to these gentle illuminations, preventing you from stumbling into cynicism or despair. You can integrate divine partnership into mundane tasks. Stirring soup. Whisper thanks for sustenance. While answering messages, ask for words that uplift. Folding laundry. Bless each wearer. These simple acts convert chores into liturgy, hallways into cloisters, commutes into processions of gratitude. You are embedding holiness into fabric of time. Walking humbly involves acknowledging continuous need for guidance. Humility is not self-deprecation. It is clear-eyed recognition that every good gift flows from beyond you. When praise comes your way, accept it graciously, then redirect the spotlight upward, much like a mirror reflecting sunlight to help seedlings grow. This redirection increases joy rather than reducing acclaim, for it aligns with the rhythm of the universe. Acting justly turns feet toward neighbors who suffer under unfair weights. Whether advocating for underpaid workers, befriending a lonely student, or purchasing ethically sourced goods, each step presses justice into soil of society. Love of mercy sweetens that justice, ensuring it never turns harsh or self-righteous. Mercy welcomes those who falter, including yourself when missteps occur. Evening air cools, scented with jasmine, and you sense that the day's long walk has been fully shared. Review its milestones: a moment of stillness at dawn, a decision entrusted to divine wisdom, vigor supplied for tasks, calm that guarded your heart, kindness extended. Recognize how companionship wove each thread into a tapestry richer than you could have crafted alone. If fatigue creeps in, lean gently upon God's shoulder. You may not perceive physical arms, yet inner assurance steadies you. Conversation can continue in whisper or silence. Both are heard equally. Sometimes the most profound fellowship occurs in wordless presence beneath a canopy of stars. Before sleep, consider offering thanks for 3 small wonders: a child's giggle, the fragrance of coffee, a line of music. These acknowledgments keep pathways of companionship clear, so tomorrow's dawn finds you already walking side by side, ready for fresh discovery. Night envelopes the landscape, setting diamonds of starlight across velvet sky. You stand once more in quiet awareness, preparing to release the day back to its maker. Every breath exhaled carries tribute for mercies received. Every inhale invites promise for dreams yet seen. In this liminal hour, you receive a blessing older than mountains, spoken first over wandering tribes and whispered now over modern hearts. The Lord bless you and keep you. Lord, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord, turn his face toward you and give you peace. Numbers 64:26. Ancient words still pulse with fresh power. They declare protection, favor, grace, and wholeness, gifts that transcend culture and century alike. May this benediction wrap around you like a soft shawl, shielding against night chill and doubt's frost. May every cell remember that you are cherished beyond measure. When tomorrow wakes, may you rise already tuned to stillness, fortified by trust, replenished with strength, guided by calm, and companioned by everlasting presence. If this message awakens you, feel free to share hope with someone who needs it.